everybody. This is part of my continuing series of interviewing business leaders. Today I'm interviewing Jerry Allocca, who's an old friend and is recognized for helping clients look like digital gurus to their bosses. In 1998, he founded Connected Culture, an award-winning team of digital marketing specialists, and is the author of a series of digital marketing playbooks. In addition, he hosts a video podcast, Navigating the Noise, for marketing department leaders, and is a frequent industry speaker on the latest in digital marketing and media platforms, and teaches digital marketing at Hofstra University, continuing education. In working with marketing leaders, Jerry is known for explaining in plain English how to generate leads, sales online, and while tracking the cost per lead in every marketing channel. And I really like the idea of plain English. There's so much jargon in the world. It's really nice to have plain English. So Jerry, tell us about marketing noise.
Sure. So there's no shortage of marketing noise. There's a wide variety of marketing noise, but there's three critical things that have to be handled to navigate the noise. So number one, not having a plan. And I'll tell you a story from a prospective client. This was years ago. And he says, "Oh, I don't need a plan. I don't need you to create a plan. I have a plan." So, okay, great. Send it over. I'll take a look. We'll review it. And so his plan, Facebook. That's his plan. Facebook's not a plan. Facebook has over 900 million objects. How do you know that the few things that you're doing is the best way to get your message to your market? Number two is not tracking conversions. And not just the conversion, but the source and the medium of each conversion. This is what, you have to think about the meeting with the boss, and you're doing Facebook and Google and whatever you're doing. And the boss wants to know, okay, well, what's happening here? How's it going? And you're reporting likes and engagement and influence and all kinds of things like that. But what does the boss really care about is conversion. He wants to know, okay, those likes are great, but how many of those likes converted into a lead or a sale? That's what the boss wants to know. So that's what we have to change and upgrade the analytics so it tells us clearly the profitability for not only marketing campaigns, but each channel. And that's the conversation we need to have with the boss. The third type of noise that is a real killer, it's just too much going on, too fast. There's new platforms coming daily. There's new features being added to existing platforms all the time. With over 100 popular social platforms, it's overwhelming and it's highly specialized. And if you don't have those very specific skill sets or resources in your marketing department, it's probably time to think about bringing in a partner. Maybe time to start interviewing agencies.
Very interesting. A lot of that is very congruent with Action Coach and what we in general business talk about, particularly planning and particularly written plans. I agree with you. Facebook, that's my plan. Or I love when a client tells me, my plan is, it's in my head. Which I thought was where you were going to go with that. Oh yeah, I got a plan. It's up here.
The plan was all in his head, but these are the same kind of people that try a few out of the many, many different things that you can do, and they try it and oh, this doesn't work.
Right.
And, it's a systematic process that you have to follow.
Well, and which leads to your second point, which was conversion, because what you're really talking about is there's all these stats you can get off the social media platforms and other ways of developing key performance indicators, but what you're talking about is what's the relevant key performance indicator, not just, and so the others are the noise, clearly. And so, yeah, okay, I've got the written plan, or I've tried all this stuff, but I never kept any numbers about it, and and avoiding, as I wrote down, avoiding the shining object syndrome. Oh, this is new. This is new.
A lot of shiny objects online.
Oh yeah, yeah. And what's the distinction between this, that, and the other stuff? It's clearly very difficult.
I'll tell you the real key to all of it, and especially with digital media, it's knowing what not to do. It's knowing what to ignore. It's knowing how to recognize the noise, and then obviously how to navigate the noise.
Right. A lot of people have said, including the founder of Action Coach, that this is the golden age of marketing because it's become much less expensive. But without a plan, you're creating noise and you're wasting money. Without relevant measures, you're creating noise and wasting money. And if you're chasing after every new platform on a daily or weekly basis, you're wasting a lot of money. And so, it's funny, you and I both know that we always talk about who's your ideal client, which is a question I'm going to ask you in a couple of minutes. And then once you know who, then where do they hang out? And a lot of people say, well, they hang out at country clubs, but do they hang out in the largest concentrations?
And how are you going to reach them?
Right.
There's the plan.
Well, then that's the third question, is the how. But absolutely, it's not just where they hang out, but where do they hang out where there's a lot of them. Like lawyers at country clubs is nice, but lawyers at the bar association is even better.
Yeah.
For example. So who is your ideal client?
Ideal client's a marketing department leader, and that's who we work with. That's all we work with.
What are the key things that somebody should look for in a marketing agency?
When we're brought in for interviews, they usually interview 3 agencies.
Right.
The one thing, it's funny, you'll know when it's the right partner. You'll feel that it's the right partner. It's chemistry. The first critical thing is chemistry. It has to be that good chemistry between you and the heads of the agency, or whoever is in charge over there. It's a feeling. And another thing is just take a look at time during the first meeting, and you'll get that feeling in the first 5 to 10 minutes of a conversation. But look at that first meeting and see how much time is spent on them or on you. And I'm not kidding here. I've seen other agencies, and I hear from clients that tell us other agencies that have spent 20 minutes talking about their clients and their success stories and their campaigns and their creative and all this great stuff. And the marketing director, that's nice, but we're here to talk about me. Okay, I need to get to a certain place, and I need to find the person that's going to get me there. And I need somebody who understands that and understands the heat that's breathing down my neck to get there in a certain time frame. So, listening is really a key part of what you need to, a key part of that chemistry. A second thing that I'll mention is strategic insight and platform mastery. We mentioned that these platforms are highly specialized. So somebody who really knows the ins and outs, somebody who knows the culture of each of these platforms and what makes them different. You think about you go to a foreign country and you make a certain hand gesture or a certain body language, and to you that's a positive, and to them it's like you're saying F you. You had no intention of that whatsoever, but it's not about what you're saying, it's about what they're hearing and what they understand.
Great
The
point.
third thing is metrics mastery. And you said it yourself, there is an overwhelming amount of data out there. It's knowing what's important and what's a waste of time. That's, knowing what not to focus on, because there's more things not to focus on than there are things to focus on. But the key is somebody who can connect the dots to dollars. That's another key thing that you need to look for.
I always say that there's plenty of data, but how do you make the data into usable information? I like your point about the nuances, not just the first look. Whoa, Facebook, LinkedIn, blah blah blah. What's the nuances there?
Very different cultures. You've got, TikTok, very different culture, very different audience there. You've got the explosion of Clubhouse, very different culture. Facebook versus Instagram versus LinkedIn versus Twitter, they're all so very different. And if you don't understand it, you don't understand the culture, then you're going to be that person that goes into that foreign country and basically flips everybody off because you didn't realize what you're doing.
The one thing that you hit upon that I want to nail down, which is coming in with some goals, not just we need marketing. Specific goals that are measurable, the old SMART goals.
SMART goals, right?
Coming in, because I find a lot of people, they're potential clients for me, same thing. Oh yeah, I want to grow my business. Well, how much? How big?
And when? And over what time frame?
And what time frame? Yeah, exactly. So that's great. That's great. Any last things that you want to say?
I'll mention navigating the noise. I've got many, many, many more types of noise. I've got marketing department leaders who are talking about the noise in their marketing department and how they solved it. Navigatingthenoise.com. That's where you can go to subscribe on audio, on podcasts, on YouTube and video. And it's a great program for marketing department leaders who want to learn from other marketing department leaders.
Well, this was great. Really great. I love doing these interviews when I learn stuff as well. And so I thank you. And, we hopefully will remain as good friends.
Sounds good. Appreciate you having me on.